Okay, for today's first question, we will call on Haji Camino from Brigada News.
Good afternoon po, Kongs. So, yun nga po yung nangyaring botohan kagabi sa Senado. Lumabas nga po na archived yung impeachment against the Vice President. Do you think it was reasonable for them na although hindi naman dismissed yung ginamit na term but archived, still may mga nagsasabi po na it is considered dead na po. So para po sa inyo, pag sinabing archived, patay na nga po ba talaga ang impeachment against the Vice President sa Senado?
Maraming salamat. Sa amin pong paniniwala, hindi pa po tapos ang laban. Tayo po ay patuloy pa rin na umaasa na mabibigyan ng due process. Ang hindi lamang po, dahil ang na-deny po ng due process dito ay ang taong bayan. Kaya tayo po ay umaasa na ito po ay pakikinggan tayo, lalong-lalo na po yung motion for reconsideration na amin pong inihain sa Korte Suprema.
Well, when I was watching actually what was being discussed and debated on yesterday, it came not as a surprise para po sa akin, considering the political alignments in the Senate. But it was there was a revelation, no? To some degree disappointing, kung ako tatanungin mo. At the same time, may revelation. Because remember, the motion to archive is actually the product of an amendment to the original motion which was to dismiss. So if you look at the pattern, even previously when they already had the initial discussion about whether or not Senate would continue on with the impeachment proceedings, meron na pong intention really to dismiss the case. So it was, to me, there's some sort of a revelation because they acted it on a very, very swift action. Considering the fact that there is no final judicial conclusion as to whether or not the impeachment proceeding will pursue because there's already the MR filed by our prosecutor. So wala pa talagang dismissal yan. So ako yun ang nakikita ko doon. It was expected, but it also revealed the intention, no? That the impeachment complaints would be probably shelved off, and the clamor for accountability is the victim of these actions that we have seen yesterday at the Senate.
So, sir, since it was already archived, and assuming that the Supreme Court will grant or will reverse its ruling through the motion for reconsideration, do you think the Senate will follow? Or kumbaga, ibubuhayin po ba nila ulit yung impeachment since archived na po siya?
Well, I would hope so. Dahil unang-una, the premise by which the decision of the Senate na to archive yung impeachment complaint is born out from the argument that the Supreme Court has made its unanimous decision on the matter. So if ever, at saka sinabi naman ng mga ibang senador doon na meron mang instances na although unanimous yung decision ng Supreme Court, na-reverse naman din nila. So if there's a chance, for example, if that happens in this particular case, that the Supreme Court would have a reversal of decision from the prior decision that they had made so far as the impeachment complaint, I would hope that the Senate would also act on it and revive the discussion on the impeachment and convene again as an impeachment court because that's the logic behind their argument. So dapat buhayin nila yan. That's why sinabi ni Kong Joel, Chairman Joel, na hindi pa tapos ang laban kasi may MR pa naman. And they can already go back and then discuss about the impeachment or convene again as an impeachment court should Supreme Court reverse their decision. Pero ang sa akin, ang fear ko dyan is would that also be subject for votation again? Because they have acted on a motion to archive. So naturally, you cannot just simply retrieve it, no, unilaterally. So The issue now is if there's going to be another debate whether to retrieve it or not, given, for example, assuming that Supreme Court will reverse its decision.
Okay. You've mentioned about the votation, sir. Kung titingnan yung numbers last night, pretty obvious na you've mentioned about the political alignments nga po no among the senators. Pero sa tingin po ba ninyo kung sakaling i-reverse nga po yung ruling, buhayin yung impeachment, pinakinggan po yung side po ninyo, nakapag-present po kayo ng mga ebidensya, same pa rin po kaya yung magiging resulta ng botohan since sabi nyo nga po parang may political alignments na. Although hindi pa naman nagsisimula talaga yung trial proper and it's still kumbaga parang preempt pa. Pero posible ba magbago yung ganung resulta ng pagboto?
Ako yun lang naman talaga yung inaasam natin, no, ang taong bayan, na marinig yung mga allegations, mapagbigyan ang Vice Presidente ng pagkakataon depensahan ng kanyang sarili. Wala pa ho tayo doon sa merits ng complaints. Ang pinag-uusapan pa dito is yung procedural and technicalities nga eh. That's why, for me personally, I would say these are all distractions kasi nawawala tayo dun sa real issue which is the clamor for public accountability. Kung na-open na po yan at yung magkabilang panig, andito po yung isa sa ating prosecution team, magkaroon po ng ebidensya, mapresent ang ebidensya. Ako, ang aking paniwala po ay wala namang, no decision really is cast on stones. Anything can change. No? Even the Supreme Court has changed its decision many times over at sinabi naman yun ng ating kagalang-galang na senador. So ako naniniwala ko if the impeachment court continues on and allow both panels, the defense and the prosecution, to present their evidences, their witnesses, there's going to be probably, I hope, and I'm sure of it, that some of these senators who are really limited to only focusing on the technicalities must also see the bigger picture, which is accountability.
Tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi ko? Ang tanong ninyo, kung sakasakaling magbago ang desisyon ng Korte Suprema, kung ganun pa rin ang numero kung ito'y bubuhayin pag magbobotohan?
Opo.
Tingin ko po dapat unanimous. Kasi meron pong 5. Tapos may 19 po na hindi po, na bumoto po na i-archive. Tama po ba? So, dapat po maging unanimous. Kasi po itong 19, ang sinasabi po nila at dinadahilan nila ay yung ruling ng Korte Suprema. So kung magre-reverse po ang Korte Suprema sa kanilang ruling, dahil yun po ang sinasabi nila, adherence to the law, so dapat po lahat sila ay bumoto para buhayin ito.
Last point na lang po. Kung Joel, may clamors po, may mga nagsasabi na kung sakasakaling tuluyan nga pong hindi umusad or mamatay na talaga yung impeachment against the Vice President, ay meron pa naman daw pong other venues such as House hearings. So, you being the chair of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability, although kailangan nga po ng resolution for inquiries in aid of legislation, but will you pursue the issues kumbaga surrounding the Vice President sa good government and public accountability para lang maituloy kumbaga yung mga hindi na ipe-present sa Senate sa Senate Impeachment Court na dapat ay marinig po ng taong bayan?
Doon po sa articles of impeachment, dalawa lamang po ang nakapaloob po dito na amin pong hinir. Now, when it comes to the issue of confidential fund at saka yung bribery issue, ito po ay nagsumiti na po kami sa plenaryo ng aming recommendation. So, sa ngayon po, wala pa pong pinag-uusapan dahil sa ngayon nasa proseso pa po kami ng pagbubuo ng mga committee at kung sino po ang mga magiging miyembro. So, sa ngayon, wala pa pong pinag-uusapan tungkol po dyan.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Haji. We will take the next questions from Milky Regonan of DZRH.
Good afternoon, Congressman. Sa nominal voting kagabi ng mga senators, instead of explaining their votes, most of them attack the House Speaker. Your comments, please.
Kami po kasi, hindi po kami nagre-resort sa mga ad hominem. So kami po ginagalang po namin ang Senado at ang mga, lalong-lalo na, ang Senado bilang isang institusyon. Kaya kami po magtatrabaho lamang po dito sa Kongreso, pero kami po kasi ay ang nire-representa po namin dito ay yung taong bayan, at yung taong bayan po ay natili pong nagtatanong. At tinatanong po ng taong bayan kung nasaan po napunta yung mahigit kalahating bilyong piso na nawawala po. Tinatanong rin po ng taong bayan kung nasaan at kung sino si Mary Grace Piatos. So, ito po, hindi po ito mariresolba sa pamamagitan po ng pag-atake sa aming House Speaker dahil ang issue po dito ay accountability. Ngayon, ang tanong ko po, ano po ba ang iniiwasan at pinoprotektahan nila?
We will not be provoked by anyone to drag this issue to the level of gutter talk. Kami nirerespeto po namin ang aming opisina at institusyon ng aming nirerepresenta. Kung kung ibang opisyal po ay hindi ho nila binibigyan ng respeto ang kanilang opisina, that's their prerogative. But we will not allow this discussion, this important discussion, which is the public clamor for accountability, be made as a form of joke or to trivialize it by way of attacking personalities. Hindi ho namin i-allow yon. And I hope our counterpart in the Senate will still maintain the proper decorum and extend parliamentary courtesy. Remember, kayo po, ang taong bayan, alam po nila ito. Since the start of this issue on the impeachment, the allegations of corruption, the acknowledgement receipts, the threatening the lives of the sitting president, the first lady and speaker, wala ho kayong narinig ni isa sa amin na ininsulto ang mga nakaupong huwes, mga upong senador. Never, and we never did that, we will never do that. So we expect the same courtesies from our counterpart to maintain proper decorum. If the issue really is about technicalities, then let's focus on technicalities. If the issue is about accountability, the prosecution team is more than willing to present to the impeachment court their evidences and suggest. So I would hope that those insinuations should be stopped because they're uncalled for, and it will do no good to anyone. It only reflects the character of the one saying it.
You're calling for a proper decorum in the plenary, Congressman. So, meron ba kayong...
And that, we've
Yes.
already did that, we practiced that, we observed that, and for the longest time, we've been saying we will work according to the timeline of the Senate sitting on this impeachment court. We have extended all the respect and the courtesies that I guess our counterpart in the Senate deserves. I also have my personal opinions about each and every one of them, but I will keep that to myself because my office demands that I should act accordingly.
Ang panawagan po ay mula kay Senator Amy Marcos kagabi. So meron ba kayong personal appeal to the Senator? Because ang sabi rin niya sa plenary kagabi, nananawagan siya na kung meron daw dapat palitan, it should be the House Speaker. Any message po, Kong Zia and Kong Joel?
First of all, the House decides as a whole. Our decision is based on what the Speaker has delivered. We delivered 100% of the LEDAC priorities. He is inclusive, he listens to all concerns, and he actually inspired us to work harder as representatives. So that is the basis why all of us voted Speaker Martin Romualdez to remain in the speakership in this 20th Congress. As to exactly what would be my personal opinion, sabi ko nga, I have personal opinions on each of these senators, but I keep it to myself. I would just like to borrow her own words, no? To Dedma, to make patol is human. To Dedma is divine. So, Dedma na lang kami. Basta sa amin, si Speaker Martin Romualdez delivered, and we will still continue to support him and his leadership.
Ang pagpili po ng speaker ay internal po ng House. At ang House po ay nagsalita na by unanimous vote ay pinagbotohan po na manatiling speaker si Speaker Martin. Pero hindi naman po ito ang issue dito. Hindi po si speaker ang issue dito. Ang issue po dito ay accountability. So, sa aming pong paniniwala, ito po siguro dapat muna ang maresolba.
Panghuli na lang po, Kong Zia and Kong Joel, will you consider filing the articles of impeachment in February? Halimbawang hindi po maging maganda yung resulta ng MR sa Supreme Court. At nakita naman ho natin yung takbo kagabi na parang it's not on the merit of the case, but more on the personal attack against the House Speaker.
Kung ano po yung aming susunod na, sa ngayon po nakafocus po muna kami sa aming MR. Kung ano po yung magiging resulta, siguro doon na lamang po namin pag-uusapan kung ano ang aming magiging next move.
If ever, sir, will you consider filing the motion for reconsideration or the articles of impeachment in February, if ever, hindi maganda yung result ng MR sa Supreme Court?
Ang sa akin, tama nga po yung sinabi ni Chairman Joel, no? The issue of impeachment is a collective decision of the House. So let's wait until such time may warrant, no? So hindi namin pangungunahan kung ano magiging decision po ng kabuuang liderato at kabuuang membership po ng 20th Congress.
Salamat po.
Thank you, Milky. Next is Mela Lismoras from PTV4.
Hi, good afternoon po, Kongs. Follow-up lang po, speaking of somehow attacks. May nabanggit po kasi si SP Cheese Escudero kahapon na slamming yung mga ex-justices na nagkikriticize sa ruling ng SC laban sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Sila raw kasi yung pumigil dati ng impeachment ni retired CJ Davide based on the same grounds. Magkaiba lang yung pangalan ng ini-impeach. Sabi po niya, ang pinag-uusapan, yung mga maestradong nagkukwestiyon na retirado na bumoto sila pabor doon, subalit ngayon, tila nag-iba na ng posisyon. Ano ang pinagkaiba? Kung meron man, klaro ang pinagkaiba. Ang pinagkaiba, iba ang pangalan ng nasasakdal. Ano pong masasabi nyo rito? Kumbaga parang ang hina-highlight po, nagbago yung posisyon dahil lang sa pangalan. And ano po ba yung stand nyo dito na may mga nagsasabi nga na dahil si VP Sara yung center of yung impeachment ngayon. Kaya ganun yung stand nila.
Alam po ninyo, hindi lang naman yung mga dating mga maestrado ang nagsalita eh. Pati yung UP College of Law nagsalita, ang PhilConsa nagsalita. Iba't ibang mga legal luminaries nagsalita na po dito. Kami po, maliwanag naman po kung ano ang nakalagay sa ating saligang batas. Sabi po dito, ang House ang may exclusive power to initiate impeachment complaint. Ang Senado ang may sole power to try and decide. Papasok lamang po ang Korte Suprema kung may issue po ng grave abuse of discretion. Yun lamang po ang nag-iisang issue kung saan papasok po. So, sa amin pong paniniwala, maliwanag po ito at hindi naman po pwedeng masabi na nagkaroon ng grave abuse of discretion dahil ang House po sa pag-initiate po namin dito ng impeachment complaint ay niresolba lamang namin po. Sinunod lamang po namin kung ano po yung mga nakasaad doon po sa dating mga desisyon po ng Supreme Court. So, ito po maliwanag na interpretation, kaya ako po wala po akong nakikita na problema.
And sir, sa ano lang po, may last question na lang po. Sa panig po, since yun nga medyo, kumbaga tagilid nga po itong impeachment sa ngayon, sa panig po ng House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability, may mga magiging hakbang po ba yung inyong komite para kahit papaano, hindi man sa paraang impeachment, ay mailatag nyo pa rin yung mga ebidensya, yung mga iba nyo pang nakalap dito nga sa issue kay Vice President Duterte?
Well, kagaya po ng binabanggit ko po kanina, na ngayon po nasa process pa lamang po kami ng pagbubuo ng mga house, ng mga committee membership. So, hindi pa po namin na pag-uusapan kung ano po yung mga susunod na hakbang na gagawin po namin.
Thank you, Mela. Next is Tina Panganiban Perez from GMA 7.
Good afternoon po, Kongs. Ang sabi po ng ilang senators, yung articles of impeachment ay pamumulitika lamang, na ito ay anti-Vice President Sara Duterte.
I think we should not look at it in that on that lens. No, it's very clear that the beating heart of the rule of law is to hold public officials accountable to his or her actions. The family name is just accidental. Alam po natin yan, at kailangan po as public officers, we need to make ourselves accountable. No? Huwag ho nating gawin na rason ang isang opisina o isang pamilya o isang influence para takasan po yung accountability na sinasabi. And all of these things na sinasabi nilang pamumulitika, they themselves are the ones using politics as a means to obstruct the real focus of this case, of this discussion, which is holding a particular officer accountable. These are all distractions. So let's focus po, para sa akin, let's focus on the allegations that were presented and evidence that are to be presented by the defense. Dahil I think we deserve, the country and the people deserves to know the truth. Regardless whether ito man ay isang membro na isang political family or not, these are just accidentals. What is important is, number one, to maintain transparency, accountability in every public actions that we do as public officers.
Kung pinayagan lamang po kami ng Senado na mailatag yung mga ebidensya sa impeachment trial at wala po kaming napatunayan, siguro po pwede po nating masabi na ito'y pamumulitika lamang. Pero kung yun po ay pinayagan po nila. Pero hanggang ngayon po, hindi po nila pinapayagan at lahat po ng klase ng taktik ay na-experience po namin. So sa amin pong pananaw, masasabi po natin na ito'y pamumulitika lamang kung nabigyan kami ng pagkakataon maipaliwanag ito.
Kong Chua, ano na pong next for the prosecution panel? Meron po bang possibility ng oral arguments and are you preparing for that?
Yun po ay sa Solgen at yun po ang hinihingi po namin na sana po mabigyan po ng pagkakataon na magkaroon po ng oral argument para po yung mga question na like error of facts ay maitama po.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tina. Rose Cas from UNTV is now recognized.
Good afternoon po, Kongs. Kahapon po sa explanation ng vote ni SP Escudero dun sa pag-archive po ng articles of impeachment, he said, to the House of Representatives, I say, do not allow yourselves to be used for the blind hatred and ambition of a few who did these things, haphazardly, gravely abused their discretion and violated due process rights under the Constitution as found by the High Court itself. In spite of all this, you expect everyone to roll over in obedience. When we did not, you move hell and high water to destroy personalities, malign reputations, and tarnish institutions. To these people, I say this, the Senate is not your playground to run after your political enemies. We are not an accomplice in any grand scheme. your reaction po.
First of all, we do not want to make the Senate as our playground to initiate our grand scheme. It is based on what the Constitution obliges us to do. And we follow the rules, what the Constitution has dictated upon us, that to initiate the impeachment is a sole and exclusive power of the House. If there are allegations that warrant an impeachment proceedings, then the Senate should immediately act on it. No, again, during the voting last night in the Senate, there are members in the Senate with different political persuasions, and it's okay to vote on either pro or anti. That's initially what we expect them to do, but to make it as a reason to trivialize the issue on accountability and the rule of law, that to me is something that tantamounts to public distraction. And the main focus really is about holding a public officer accountable to his or her action. So ang akin pong palagay sa akin, hindi po natin ginagawa ito dahil gusto natin manggulo sa Senado. Ginagawa ho natin ito para maging faithful ho tayo at compliant kung ano po ang sinabi sa Constitution pagdating po sa mga impeachable officers.
Okay po, Kong. Okay na po kayo. The Supreme Court, in its initial impeachment ruling, declared unconstitutional the articles of impeachment. And yesterday, the Senate decided to archive the articles of impeachment against the Vice President. So two big institutions decided against the House of Representatives. What is your next strategy? Kailangan bang may recalibration sa pag-exact ng accountability against the Vice President amidst the corruption allegations against her? Recalibration. May recalibration po ba kayo sa gagawin niyo pong ibang strategy para po i-exact ang accountability against the Vice President?
Well, for now, ang inaantay po natin ay madesisyonan yung MR. Pag natapos yan, pag nadesisyonan ng MR, doon lamang po kami mag-uusap-usap kung ano po yung susunod na magiging hakbang po namin.
What if, sir, if the Supreme Court decides with finality na yung articles of impeachment ay unconstitutional, what will be your reaction? Will you adhere? Will you abide by the decision of the Supreme Court if it decides with finality?
Well, of course, siyempre, gagalangin po natin ng Korte Suprema, ako po bilang abogado and officer of the court. But it does not follow na hindi po kami gagawa ng aksyon. So, lahat naman po ng paggalang sa kataas-taasang hukuman ay ating pong ibinibigay. Maski po sa mga Senado.
Yun nga, dadagdag ko lang po, no, alam ko naman magaling na abogado po, pero ako din nagbabasa-basa na rin din ho ako eh. Even the Supreme Court, nung decision po, no, na penned by Justice Laurel, ang Angara versus Electoral Commission, sinabi po dun sa decision na yun that each branch of the government is supreme within its own sphere. Ibig sabihin, if the House of Representatives has given by the Constitution the exclusive right to initiate impeachment proceedings, including adopting its own rules, then that also a way reinforced by that decision, no? Yung Angara versus Electoral Commission. And so the MR, yung motion for reconsideration, it's not an act of disobedience. It is by also it's also a legal remedy that is provided under the Constitution by way of due process. So we are exhausting all legal remedies in order for us to exert, no, what we have trying to present before the court. And number two, it's also a sign of fidelity to the Constitution, because the Constitution says that the sole power and exclusive power to initiate impeachment is in the in the House of Representatives. Unfortunately, nasabi naman ho ito ng spokesperson ng impeachment at na-explain naman din ho ito ng mga ilang abogado. Yung naging ruling po ng Supreme Court, that's why we filed for a MR, is number one, there's also an addition to the requirement. No? This is also something that is not nadagdagan dun sa previous po nung Davide case na sinabi ng Constitution. So there are also additional requirement which to us should be within the sphere within the sphere of the House as its exclusive powers according to the Constitution. I think that's why the MR was filed by the legal team of the House.
Thank you, Rose. Marian Enriquez from TV5.
Good afternoon po. Chair, may statement, Kongs, may statement po si Speaker Martin Romualdez earlier. Sabi po niya, quote, the filing of the complaint was not rushed. What was rushed, remarkably, was its burial. Ano po muna ang komento niyo dito and lalo na may pending MR? What was rushed daw, remarkably, was its burial, yung pagbabaon nung reklamo. Sabi ni Speaker, kasi di ba sinasabi po, minadali daw dito yung ni-railroad daw ang impeachment complaint dito, pero...
Well, siguro we will just take the statement of the Speaker as it is, di ba? So, kung yun naman po talaga yung obserbasyon ng nakararami. In fact, yung salitang forthwith nga, masyado na maraming interpretasyon na inabot eh. Kaya yan, naging t-shirt na lang ni Ryan. Kaya, so, well, yun po talaga yung yun po yung talagang obserbasyon ng nakararami. Hindi lang po minadali sa amin pong paniniwala ay actually hindi rin naman minadali dahil ang tagal bago na desisyonan eh. February pa lang hanggang ngayon pa lang na-aksyonan, but just the same, ganun din pala yung bagsak.
Sa akin, kung titingnan mo yung initial na pinagdidiscussan yung forthwith, no? Medyo nagkaroon ng daming-daming interpretasyon to. Sinabi naman to ng aking kaibigan. Medyo tumagal. But you cannot also compare that to what happened in the Senate. When the Constitution says forthwith, when the transmittal was being done, when they have already received the complaints, the verified impeachment complaints, the Senate should immediately forthwith convene as an impeachment court. But it came out as a surprise to many, even to legal luminaries, that that word was subject to different interpretations, leading to the delay of the convening of the impeachment court. But it's also in a very opposite contrast if you compare that to what happened yesterday, when they swiftly acted to archive the impeachment, despite the fact that there is no definitive judicial conclusion because there is still a pending MR. So naturally, the Speaker as a lawyer and as a citizen, you would have also to notice this, no, and to balance it out, yung action ng Senate and the action that they have made previously and the action that they have made in last night's decision. At gusto ko lang po ding i-highlight ito, no, yung sinasabi po nilang pag-disobedience, pag-disrespect sa Supreme Court na ginawa po ng House of Representatives. Gusto ko lang pong sabihin, when it is convenient to them, nirerespeto nila ang Supreme Court. Remember, the Supreme Court also says that the time when the Philippines was still a signatory to the Rome Statute, prior to its withdrawal, lahat po ng allegations ay sakop at nasa jurisdiction ng ICC. But they did not respect that. But now, they are respecting the Supreme Court to a point of archiving the impeachment complaint, despite the fact that the Supreme Court has yet to make its decision with finality. So, tatanong ko rin, ano ba ang respeto when it is convenient for you, when it is politically expedient for you? Let's call spade spade. Kami po, nirerespeto namin ang Supreme Court, and most importantly, our Constitution is our compass, is our guiding light. That's why we maintain our position that what is provided under the Constitution in order for one party to exhaust legal remedies, we did that by virtue of filing for an MR. At hindi po yun disobedience. That is fidelity to the rule of law and fidelity to the Constitution as our guiding light.
Sir, meron pong statement si retired SC Justice Adolf Azcuna. Sinabi niya, okay naman daw po what the Senate did. Archiving is better as tabling can still lead to dismissal when the matter is revived the next day. So, ibig sabihin, kumbaga, sabi po niya, archiving makes it safe from dismissal in the meantime. Your comments po. Chair Chua.
Well, it is better than dismissing the impeachment complaint in its entirety. But sa amin naman po, sana inantay muna na maging final and executory na.
That is better. But what's best dapat is to lay on the table yung motion ni Senator Soto, because that would give less trouble for the Senate to retrieve the impeachment complaint. Kasi para siyang unfinished business. And they can always go back to it with that even, I don't know what's the ruling in the Supreme Court or how they're in the Senate, yung procedure nila. That would always, at any time, can be taken up again. But on the floor. But to archive it, to put that into a voting with plenary action, that makes it more difficult to retrieve because the motion to retrieve would still be subject for votation. And let's wait for the Senate if and when Supreme Court reverse its decision, then the Senate will be under scrutiny ng taong bayan kung ano magiging action nila. The best, I guess, kung gusto lang nila is hindi muna natin pagdiskussan ito kasi wala pang finality. Kasi meron ding feeling ko merong admission ng ganun eh. In a way, hindi man lang nila sinabi. Kasi the fact that they have amended the previous motion from dismissal to retrieve na lang, that's in a way an evidence of acceptance that yes, wala pang finality ito. That's why nila archive nila. So I guess it would be easier for the Senate to go back again to that discussion kung lay on the table lang siya. I mean, I'm talking about procedure.
Thank you, Marian. Billy Vegas from Politico. Please proceed.
Magandang hapon po. Kung tatanong ko lang, sabi po ni Senator Marcoleta, hilaw daw po yung impeachment. Tapos kine-question niya rin po yung pagpasok dun sa order of business.
Paano po niya masasabing naging hilaw ito? Ano po ang dahilan kung bakit niya masasabi na hilaw ito? Ito po pinagbotohan ng more than 1/3 ng mga miyembro. So, hindi naman, nire-respeto po natin yung dati namin pong kasama. Pero sa amin pong paniniwala, lahat naman po ng mga steps para ma-file ang impeachment ay sinunod po namin. Alinsunod po sa Francisco at sa Gutierrez ruling. At base rin po sa House rules at base rin po sa ating saligang batas.
Para sa akin, hinog na hinog eh. Yung 200 plus na pumirma, para sa amin hinog na hinog.
Kung sakasakali po na na hindi na i-reverse ng Supreme Court yung decision, yung unang decision nila, will it be hard po na mag-file ng bagong impeachment kay BP Sara? Dahil may may mga new requirements na nilagay yung Supreme Court.
Mahihirapan po dahil pinahirapan po ng, well, with all due respect sa ating Korte Suprema, yung magiging steps po ay medyo mahirap na po. Kaya, actually po, sa totoo lang nakalagay po dun sa ating saligang batas, Congress shall promulgate its rules. So dapat po, ang nagbibigay po o naglalagay po ng alituntunin, dapat po ang Kongreso. Kasi ang ginamit po na word doon ay shall. Ibig sabihin po ng shall, mandatory. Kaso dito po, sa bago pong inilahad ng ating korte, kung saan nagdagdag po ng ilang mga parameters o steps para po may akyat ang impeachment, mas magiging mahirap na po. At pangalawa po, sa akin pong paniniwala, ito po ay, of course, again, with all due respect sa ating Korte Suprema, ay pag-overstep po sa power po, sa exclusive power po ng Kongreso to initiate impeachment complaint.
At saka may mga buhay naman din po ng mga framers, member po ng 1986 Constitutional Commission. At sinasabi nila the intention really to make it easier in plain English doon sa Article 11 yun, no? The impeachment, no? Article 11, to make it more understandable and easier for ordinary people to comprehend. Ay may intention po yan to make it faster, to make it easier. Yung forthwith sinabi, it does not only speak about the procedural matters that it should be taken. It also speaks about when an issue of impeachment is laid down, it also speaks about the urgency of the matter. Kaya forthwith ang ginawa nila eh. So, even they themselves said, it will be made it very plain in plain English at mas madaling intindihin as mas madali. Kasi the reason for them, and I think this is the wisdom at na-experience natin, in order to avoid this kind of fanfare, itong kung ano-ano lang yung nagkakaroon tayo ng mga issue na pinupolitika. Ang tanong ko nga is, pag mayroon bang kasalanan ng isang public officer, sabihin lang niyang pamumulitika, ligtas ka na. Hindi po. So I think that's the intention of the framers of the Constitution. Why they made it so simple and so easy to understand.
And additionally po, madagdagan ko lang, ang trabaho, pumapasok lang po ang Korte Suprema pag meron po tayong tinatawag na grave abuse of discretion. Sa pagdagdag po ng mga parameters o ng steps para makapag-initiate ng impeachment, ito po ay hindi na po nila saklaw. Dahil ito po ay paglalahad na po o pag-aamyenda na po ng rules kung saan binibigyan po ng exclusive power ang Kongreso.
Thank you po.
Thank you, BD. Earl Tobias from IBC 13.
Kongs, good afternoon po. Kung nabanggit kanina yung convenience sa pagsunod lang sa Korte Suprema na nakita sa ilang mga issue na napag-usapan sa Senado. That being said po, kung sakasakali na baliktarin or mag-switch ang Korte Suprema ng kanyang desisyon after waliwanagan sa motion for reconsideration na inhain ng Kamara, ibig sabihin din po, Kongs, hindi na dapat subject for debate ang paglilitis kay Vice President Sara Duterte at ang pagtuloy ng Senate Impeachment Court ay dapat diretsyo na rin kung sakasakaling pumabor ang MR sa Kamara.
Forthwith.
Thank you, Kongs. Follow up na lang po. Sir, yung dragging sa pagdinig nitong impeachment case ni Vice President Sara Duterte, ikaw po ang nag-chair doon sa komite kung saan hinugot yung mga grounds for impeachment impeachment versus the Vice President. So asking personally, would you take this as a tantamount to disregarding the evidences, the facts, at yung mga testimonies na nakuha nyo under oath from the Office of the Vice President before and from DepEd?
Ang nagiging issue na po ngayon kasi is procedural without touching the core or the meat of the issue. So, ang tanong po talaga mananatili pa rin po, nasa na po yung pera? Doon pa rin po tayo babagsak. Siguro, kung mabigyan na malalaman po ng pagkakataon kami na maipresenta to, dahil dati po sinasabi po nila, handa daw ba kami? At paulit-ulit po nilang tinatanong sa amin yan at paulit-ulit naman po namin sinasagot na bigyan kami ng pagkakataon na mailatag ang ebidensya.
Sir, as of this moment, would you call it a delayed granting of justice already?
They denied the Filipino people due process.
Thank you, Earl. Janesca Panti from GMA News Online. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, yung action ba ng Senate last night could be interpreted na okay lang sa kanila na nawawala yung 612 million and okay lang sa kanila na the Vice President is threatening to kill the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker. Yun ba yung message ng Senate dun sa action nila?
Thank you very much for that question kasi it brought us back to where the real center of this discussion should be, and that is accountability. Ako sa akin, there's no way for us to say otherwise as you have laid out your question, no? Kasi the evidence does not support the opposite. What it supports is that exact claim and exact question that you have posed. At hindi lang ikaw nagtatanong niyang, ang buong taong bayan. Pag may pananagutan ba ang isang public officer, sabihin mo na lang na namumuliti ka, iligtas ka na. Hindi ho ba? That's why we still maintain our position that this could have been easier done. Kasi no matter what your decisions, their decisions are, okay lang yun. Kung boboto ba sila, either acquit or to convict, that's entirely up to them. But please, allow the Constitution to work and allow the presentation of evidence to happen. That way, we do not only discuss from among ourselves as politicians or as public officers, but it also give way for the public and for the entire nation to also learn and see whether these allegations are real or not. And we owe to them to give them that what they deserve. Tama po, dapat balikan natin yung accountability because that decision affirms our initial apprehension na baka hindi na patatakasin na sa kapananagutan ang isang nasasakdal, which in this case of the Vice President.
I think that question should be addressed by the senators.
Yung argument lang ni SP Escudero, kasi yan nga parang binanatan niya si Ombudsman, former also Supreme Court Justice Conchita Carpio Morales. Siya kasi yung ponente ng Francisco versus House and she was there in the gallery. Fair ba na i-reason out ni SP Escudero na bakit hindi sila nagrereklamo, Tony Carpio also included doon? When yung Francisco versus House na decision came after naman nung pag-file nila before nung impeachment kay then si J. Davide. Kumbaga, wala pa yung Francisco versus House when they first attempted to impeach Davide. Parang fair ba yun na sabihin niya na magkaiba lang yung pangalan when the circumstances are not exactly the same?
Well, whether the statement of Senator Chis is fair or not, the thing is, the House just followed the ruling of the Francisco N. Gutierrez. So bakit po kami sisisihin sa pagsunod po namin sa batas? So kung meron man pong dapat ay siguro dapat kung meron man pong bagong alituntunin na dapat sundin, dapat ang application po nito ay prospective. Hindi po dapat ito mag-apply sa ngayon.
Thank you, Linesca. Next is Mabic Trinidad from Abante Radio. Mabic?
Sir, good afternoon po. Sabi po ninyo kanina na kayo ay sumusunod lamang po sa batas. Ano po ang Kamara? Yun yung ginawa ng Senado kagabi. Sabi din nila, they just acted sa naging decision po ng Korte Suprema, in particular with the word executory. Kaya po nag-file ng motion si Senator Marcoleta. Pwede ho bang paki-explain in layman's term yung sinasabi ng Korte Suprema na complaint ay, the impeachment complaint ay null and void ab initio, at yung hong pagsunod ng Senado, paggawa ng motion for the word executory, immediate executory, ano ho sa palagay po ninyo ang, para ho mas maintindihan namin, na yun ho ba ay mali? Ano ho ba yung ibig sabihin nun?
Well, normally po sa mga kaso po, pag meron pong nakalagay na executory na or immediately executory, dapat yan ang susunod na yan, maglalabas po sila ng mga writ of execution. So, ang writ po, yun po yung kautusan talaga, no? But dito po kasi sa kaso sa amin pong paniniwala, hindi pa naman po ito final and executory. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi mong final and executory na, wala ka ng recourse. Meron pa po kaming recourse, which is yung MR. So, ang sa amin lang naman, ang hinihiling lang naman po namin ay sana, antayin muna natin yung MR. Bago po talaga ito'y tapusin ng, o bago po umakto ang Senado.
Ko nga lang po, no? I think the reason why it was settled into a motion to archive, because in a way, that's already an acceptance that it's not final and executory. Si mismo po yung movant ng motion na yon, ang ating pong kasama dito sa House, ay siya mismo ang yung archive. They can already dismiss that kung if there's a final and executory. But then again, they archived it because the anticipation is the Supreme Court may reverse it in finality.
And you're positive na marireverse pa? Base po dun sa bagong motion, dun po sa motion for reconsideration na ipinasa po ninyo?
Ang sa amin po, bigyan po ng pagkakataon na magkaroon ng oral argument. At sana po, basahin ng maayos itong MR namin dahil lahat po yung mga sa tingin po namin na issue ay nasagot naman po ng maayos. And the MR is well written and well argued.
Sir, last na po ito. Si Senator Marcoleta po ay, I'm sure hindi na ho kayo na-surprise ano po, dun sa kanyang stand. Siya po ang nag-file ng motion to for the archiving ano po. Palagay po ba ninyo kahit papano naka-impluwensya siya dun sa mga ibang senators na dahil kasama po ninyo siya before at alam niya po kung paano ang naging proseso dito po sa Kongreso nung paghahain ng impeachment case. Do you think po meron din siyang kahit pa paano impluwensya po dun sa mga senators to decide na magkakasama po sila sa motion to archive?
Siguro mas masasabi na lamang po natin na si Senator Marcoleta ay isang abogado mahusay din naman po. Alam naman po natin yan. Nakasama po namin dito sa House. Kaya siguro siya yung tamang tao na mas makakapagpaliwanag ng mga legal implications at makakasagot sa mga tanong na po pwedeng ibato dito po sa kanyang motion. Kasi kung hindi po abogado ang maghahain ng motion, baka po mas lalo pong hindi ma-justify yung kanilang motion na ihahain sa plenaryo.
There's no doubt naman po that sabi nga ni Chairman Joel na magaling naman talaga bilang abogado at bilang legislator. There's no doubt that his inclusion to the block is a strong addition doon sa kung ano man yung mga advocacies pinaglalaban nila. But as to whether or not this may have something to do with the voting, hindi ho natin alam kung ano yung dynamics ng mga senador, no? But siya ho yung naging move on, siya ho talagang nagdepensa. So, yun lang po. Let's leave it at that. At talaga namang meron siyang kakayahan bilang isang legislator.
Sir, thank you po.
Thank you. Next is Gab Lalu from Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Sir, yung unang question ko connected sa tanong ni Earl. Yung parang nabababaan ba kayo dun sa pagtingin ng karamihan sa mga senador dun sa complaints na para bang gawa-gawa lang siya? Na parang, kasi yun yung pananaw kanina ng Makabayan Black, sinasabi nila na dahil ang dating sa mga senador, politika lang, para bang minamaliit na yung resulta ng mga naging investigasyon, lalo na sa inyo, sir, sa panel niyo, sir.
Well, sa akin po, wala naman akong, hindi ko naman concern kung anong tingin nila. Basta tayo po sa ating committee, gagawin lamang po natin kung ano ang ating trabaho. At kung may nakikita po tayong problema, hayaan po natin na yung taong bayan ang maghusga.
Kasi sir, hindi ba siya alarming? Considering na there is still a possibility na trial will push through. Parang at this stage in time, hindi na binibigyan ng timbang yung ebidensya o yung articles na present ng House.
Well, alam mo, sa totoo lang, hindi ko masasagot kung ano yung ng mga senador 'di ba? Samantalang kung titingnan po natin, karamihan po sa kanila ay nanggaling din sa House at naging miyembro din ng House. Kaya siguro kung hindi po nila, kung mababa po ang tingin nila, dapat respetuhin na lamang po natin nila yung institusyon.
Pero sir, hindi ba alarming? Sorry sir. Sige sir. Sige lang sir.
Kaya nga parati namin sinasabi, let's keep an eye to yung ano talaga yung focus nitong pinag-uusapan, which is the 7 verified impeachment complaints. Lahat naman ho tayo, alam natin kung paano pinagbantaan ang presidente. We don't need to provide you an evidence on that. Nakita naman natin yung mga disallowances, etc. So let's focus on, sabi nga, the meat of the contention by which the prosecution wants to present before the impeachment court. All of these discussions are just para sa akin, distractions to trivialize the issue. And they can attempt on that. But as far as we're concerned, we will focus our attention to the real issue at hand. Kaya nga po, sabi namin, we will never allow any provocation that the House will be dragged to the low level of gutter talk. Kasi we owe the people to really present our evidences. We owe it to them to know the facts, the figures, and the truth.
Sir, balikan ko lang yung sa archive. Sir, kanina pa paulit-ulit na tinatanong, pasensya na po. Pero anong tingin niyo sa pag-archive, sir? Ano ba yun? Pwede pang bumalik? Pwede pa mapag-usapan ulit?
Pwede po. Siguro, ang intention talaga nila nung una pa lang is to dismiss. Pero nakita nga nila na mayroon pang option which may inaabangan pa, which is yung motion for recon. Kaya nagkaroon na lamang ng compromise. Nagkaroon na lang ng compromise na ito i-archive. So, yun po.
Sir, could the same be said for the first 3 impeachment complaints na na-archive din ng House? Does this mean na pwede pang mapag-usapan ulit yung first 3 na yun? And after that, sir, kung pwede pang mapag-usapan yung first 3 impeachment complaints na na-archive ng House, does this mean na we can always revert to the first impeachment complaint and have that submitted to the Senate?
Ganito kasi yan, yung pagpa-file ng impeachment, 2 mode po yan. Yung isa pong mode, ito po yung initiation na sinasabi nila, kailangan po, ito po yung committee procedure. Yung committee, 2 po yung committee procedure at saka House action. Ito po yung 2 mode ng pagpa-file ng impeachment. Sa committee procedure po, 2 po ang requirement dyan sa initiation. Number 1, filing, at number 2, referral to the Committee on Justice. Hindi po ito ang landas na tinahak namin. Ang tinahak po namin yung second mode, which is yung House action. Dito po, 2 rin po ang requirement. Number 1, filing. Number 2, kailangan lamang is 1/3 vote. So yung 1/3 vote na ito, pag ito po ay nakuha na, yung impeachment complaint magfo-form na as article of impeachment. At maliwanag po sa ating saligang batas, pag ito po ay nagawa ng 1/3 vote o napirmahan ng 1/3 vote, ito po ay itatransmit na sa Senado. Wala na pong sinasabi na kailangan po na i-refer pa po ito sa Committee on Justice. Ang nagsasabi po niyan ay ating saligang batas.
Sir, baliktarin ko naman yung sitwasyon na kasi archived yung articles of impeachment sa Senate and then na-archive din ng House yung unang 3 impeachment complaint. Pero doon sa Supreme Court kasi, sir, yung decision nila, sinasabi na yung pagkaka-archive doon sa first 3 impeachment complaints equates to a dismissal of the complaints. Hindi po kaya mangyari, sabihin nila, dahil na-archive na ng Senate, it is in effect dismissed na rin po.
Hindi po. Kasi po nung nagtapos po nung 19 Congress, tapos na rin po yung lahat ng action ng House. So natapos po nung 19 Congress. Yung dito po, hindi pa naman po tapos eh.
Dagdagan ko lang, the action that was made by the House of Representatives, yun na-explain niya, there are several modes. It was archived because what we did is we exercised the 3rd mode, which is more than 1/3 nga yung boto eh. But in the case of the Senate, it was archived precisely because there's no finality in the Supreme Court's decision. So magkaiba po yung context noon. So hindi na-archive namin because we followed the 3rd mode as provided under the Constitution. In the Senate, they archived it because there's an admission that the Supreme Court has yet to finally deliver and hand down their decision as far by virtue of the MR that was filed by the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Gab. Before we wrap up, we will entertain two more reporters. Ed Sarto from DZME, and then last question will be from Tina Panganiban Perez of GMA7. Ed?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Kong Joel and Kong Sia. Tanungin ko lang, kasi after last night, narinig na natin explanation of almost all the senators. And based on their explanations, they attacked not just the individual congressmen who signed doon sa articles of or endorsed the articles of impeachment, but also the institution. My question is, may umiiral pa bang parliamentary courtesy between the two chamber? And idagdag na natin ang Supreme Court.
Well, insofar as the House is concerned, we always respect the upper chamber as well as the Supreme Court. Basta't kami po, we will just follow the mandate of the Constitution, kung ano po nakalagay lamang sa ating saligang batas. Yun lamang po ang aming susundin.
Yeah, we still observe. Yeah, and then I hope our counterpart in the Senate will also have the same will also have the same attitude towards us, because what we have already showed in the past is none but extending courtesy to our co-equal branch.
Follow-up lang, sir. Based doon sa mga narinig natin, hindi ba yun pagbaliwala na sa interparliamentary courtesy?
That's why we want to remind our colleagues in the Senate to avoid name callings, personal attacks, because we don't actually bring out the worst in us. We also bring down the integrity of the office that we represent.
Thank you, Ed. Tina, you may go ahead.
Kongs, sabi po sa botohan kagabi, move on na lang daw. Pwede po bang mag-move on na and hintayin na lang po yung February 2026 para po maghain ulit ng impeachment complaint, lalo pat ang dami pong binubutas doon sa current articles of impeachment?
Antayin po muna natin ang resulta ng MR. Para sa amin, hindi pa po tapos yung laban.
Again, accountability is something that we should face head-on.
Thank you, Tina. And before we officially close our press conference, we maybe hear a few final thoughts from our honorable House leaders. Once again.
So siguro po nagpapasalamat po kami sa ating mga kasama po dito na mga media at hinihingi lamang po namin ang pasensya o habaan lamang po natin ang pasensya natin. Ganun po talaga ang proseso. Talagang meron po talaga mga proseso sa demokrasyang bansa.
Salamat po sa ating mga kaibigan sa media. Ang ginagawa po natin dito, hindi ito pamumulitika, walang personalang trabaho lang po. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Once again, maraming salamat po. House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability Chairman and Manila 3rd District Representative Joel Archua and House Deputy Majority Leader and Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Lonta Adjong for joining us this afternoon. To everyone, sa mga kasama sa media, sa lahat po ng technical staff,